they do look alike, though maybe they are twins. They've had pretty similar fates too, but different ways. Same. Arashi, talk a little to us about what you think about these two coaches and how they draft.
Well, they both have 14 games won. That's where, you know, coincidence, or is this a greater power at work? Because it's, what are the odds, right? Number 2 lowest game rate, though, against the number 1 lowest game rate. They're both definitely scraping the barrel here for something, anything, to really improve that stat by even just a little bit. They both seem comfortable, though, still smiling, so coming up with fun.
Probably they love the gimmick.
Probably just respecting the gimmick for sure.
Well, I have to ask you, realize now at this point, with the Kingdom support, with all this, Dewa technically have nothing to lose. The pressure's all on RRQ. But it could be also a good point for them. Maybe they love to have the support, to have this pressure to perform even better. What do you think about this situation that they are caught in?
There's a lot of stakes in this game. Number 1, you want to make it to playoffs. Number 2, it would hurt so much if you lose to Dewa. The fact that this team doesn't even make it to playoffs means that they don't have any pressure. They're playing without anything to lose. And if you lose to this team, there's this sense of burden again that you have to carry, this moral burden again, trying to entertain the Kingdom. Of course, the fans, they want the glory, they want the wins, the ticket to playoffs. And for RRQ, I think the fact that the Kingdom is here, the chants of war having been sung by the fans, this is going to boost them even more. And I don't think they will break under pressure, and I hope they don't.
Well, now it's time to ask the Kingdom on desk. One of the Kingdom on desk after we get into the drafts of game number 1. Dewa United versus RRQ Hoshi. RRQ will take first pick on blue side. Dewa opting to go for red. I think this is their preferred sides as well. Dewa with the cheese, RRQ with their core fundamentals. But Arashi, in this position, RRQ, do you think the pressure will help them or will stop them?
I feel like the thing is, a lot of these players right now in the current roster are veterans, but there is a mix right here where there are some players who haven't been as active, there are some players who are new to the scene, so I think it's going to be a mixed bag. But with the veterans in Tao, we've seen the impact that one person with experience can bring to the whole team. The influence that one person alone can bring to try and channel the pressure, the fear of failure in front of your fans into energy, into motivation to just do that much better. So I think that they are definitely going to perform their best today against Dewa.
Pressure first pick for Irad definitely seems to look like RRQ want to just utilize how stable Irad can be on that pick. The Eradicator, as we know him, on that Fredrin pick. The Angela, the Lo Yi, and the Harith Band out means that chip is still up for grabs. A big pick that they have been able to find a lot of success on, especially when it's given to Drian.
I mean, for Drian, flexibility has been the name of this man, the middle name that he has always been able to carry. And I feel like that flexibility just gives them, the freedom of movement and the way they want to approach the game. But it is going to be a Natan and a Barat. This Natan has been one of the strongest picks for Watt, and it just carries Dewa to that late game potential. And we talked about it in the KTV. Don't overextend. If you lose one fight, you don't necessarily lose the game. And I think they could play around that philosophy that they still have Watt with the Natan to bank on to carry them to the late game.
The Natan did spell doom for RRQ the last time they were up against Geek Fam, I believe. And with the Barats here, they have a chance to try and power farm through and deny any kind of assassin from any kind of flex that this Fredrin can be used for. But now the chip is up for grabs. It will be picked up along with the Moscow. Global presence is what Coach Zaya wants to bank on.
Wow. Talk about one global presence with a shortcut. Now another with a Spear of Destruction as well. This matchup, though, in the gold lane, the Moscow versus the Natan, Moskov definitely has that pressure in the early game, can go and try to bully the Natan, but as the game goes, man, this Natan will outrange the Moskov. It really depends on how both of these teams try to play it. Moskov especially has that snowballing pressure. If you join these team fights very early with the Spear of Destruction connecting, it'll be great. But the big question is, how comfortable is Skylar on this pick? We've never seen him play this pick in MPL ID. We have, however, seen him just recently play it in the recent Hero tournament, the qualifiers for ISF, and very unfortunately, he did take a loss as well. Feramis being the pick for Dewa.
And I would argue that Skylar is not the type of goal laner or marksman that really wants to fight in the early games. He's more reserved.
Yeah.
If needs be, if he is called upon, then he will join the fights. But for the Moskov to really just, you know, be functioning effectively with the global presence with the Spear of Destruction, it needs you to fight the early game, and I don't think Skylar really wants that. And late game is still an option for RRQ, but that is where the Natan also scales and also excels. So this could just be a battle of waiting game for both teams, especially for Skylar and for Watt both.
And for Dewa, they're concerned about the pressure in the lanes as well. They ban with the Vexana. Good brawling, fighting utility, and damage, and also great wave clear. If they're already losing in the global presence, the last thing they want to do is also lose out in the clearing speed that will allow RRQ to go all around the map and be aggressive. They do have a Barat, so if they do get a lot of winning lanes, a lot of good wave clear, especially in the mid lane, they can use that to try and supplement this Barat that can usually clear faster than the Fredrin and try and shut down RRQ's game plan that way, get a lead, and then win out in the turtle fights by being decisive and not allowing RRQ to pull you apart with the shortcut.
I think we're kind of seeing that from RRQ. They do not want to go off in a pure sustained battle with the frontliners of Dewa United because they already have a ton. The whole point of this draft for Dewa so far is protect the Natan and have a solid front line. With that Florin, it could have been devastating to RRQ, having the front line be even tankier with the Bloom. For Dewa, they're just getting rid of the burst slash poke damage that they can receive from the Novaria and the Vexana. They want to try to get this mid-prio up on Dewa's side. Hey, they might even actually pick up a Valentino robe, something we haven't seen in a long time for Dewa, but that is something that Drian has picked before. It was also together with the Feramis. We have a comment though from Beloyski. RRQ qualified to playoffs. It's a little difficult now. Must win all their matches, but yes, they have to reset, so a big reset is definitely necessary. A Carmilla as well. Another counter towards the chip that we have seen before from Evo's Glory.
First pick though in the second phase comes to Dewa. And what will they show right here? Considering they're up against the global presence, disengage generally is preferable. Because with the Feramis, you can go and save your members with the Netherrealm, but if you can't escape afterwards, it's almost like the same kind of deal. So for Dewa, I think that's something that they really need to try and find here. Some good frontline to absorb the damage, absorb the initial impact from the 5v5 roaming squad, or some kind of utility to disengage or even actually counter-engage depending on the situation. It's gotta be a Ruby.
Yep, you said it. Counter-engage, disengage, even pickoffs. You find it all with the Ruby, and it's still technically a flex right now. Could be going to Dixon in the XP, could also be utilized by Drian, the man with the most unique hero picks in Season 13 so far. So that's why they really love the red side. They pick up a flex here, and they set up for a crazy pick for Drian. And if they don't want to go for a crazy pick, they can obviously just go for normal. Ruby in the roam, Ruby in XP, and then pick up another roamer. That is still up for grabs right now. What is, though, is the big question for Dewa. Arlets is up there too. For RRQ, they need a bit more dive. They need to pick up something like a Yuzong to try to fight these skirmishes, to sustain as well. The real answer will be the Yve, the signature pick for Clay, and the Lapu Lapu for Dawn.
We've seen how good the Yve can be. Good clear, good damage output. And technically, we saw what happens to Aura when you try and fight too early, trying to make use of the Feramis against a Yve, right? That's a lot of damage output, that's a lot more spammable. It's a bit of the same situation. A lot of spells on short cooldown, a lot of AoE on the side of RRQ. So for Dewa, I think quad control, even more, can never go wrong.
This is a good fighting line.
Shows that RRQ has a bit of an advantage, but depending on the execution, you have to remember, this is a Hellcurt with an execute against a team that is well known, very well known, to be reliant on the gold laner. There's a great chance that Dewa here are setting up fully to shut down Skylar and allow Watt to really get going from the early game. And we've seen these late game carries, if you give them a great start, perhaps like a 3-0 like we saw earlier, that could be an absolute nightmare for RRQ.
The drums of war sounds and the banners raised. They charge to this war, to this battle up against the gods for their playoff spots. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Dawn for game number 1, Dewa versus RRQ Hoshi.
Start slow for both junglers, and this is a must-win game for RRQ. They are struggling to just get a grip of their playoff spot. They can start now against the gods. Oh, the damage towards Skylar is just way too much. This is going to be very, very scary for them, especially in the hands of Brian.
Level 1 cheese is just absolutely notorious, man. But look at Skylar, though. He's going with the flicker, not the inspire. He's lacking a lot of that playmaking tool he will require for a bit more mobility. I mean, I guess there's a lot of dangers lurking around from Dewa in the situation, but without that inspire, he's losing a lot of that pressure, a lot of the threat in the fights and in the 1v1.
Look at Drian lurking. I think if he finds a Terrify and a Stinger and executes, Skylar would die. But okay, he gets out for now. Everything's chill. And we go back to the full reset in the early game. Let's talk a little bit about this choice for Dewa. Drian is still hovering over. They have to send Vin towards the bottom lane.
Flash course there. Trying to bully the players of RRQ, but Vin is just so brave walking to that battle.
I mean, he's tankier, technically, compared to Drian on the Hellcurt. Look at the emblems earlier, though. Bargain Hunter for what? He knows he's going to be getting a lot of assistance, a lot of pressure in shutting down Skylar. And Skylar, he's going for the tenacity. So he's absolutely respecting the fact that the Hellcurt is going to be a problem. It's going to help him survive a lot of this burst damage. But he has to itemize a lot earlier as well, knowing how effective the Hellcurt can be, even if you don't really get to snowball out of control in the middle of the game.
Look at this in the mid lane. Actually, Drian losing out on that skirmish against Vin. A duel. Spear of Destruction not connecting. And Dewa set up.
Flicker forward now. RWM there, but Lanaya gets the turtle. Now the Rel popped up, and they will move forward. Drian with the Stinger doesn't get the kill, but Lanaya taken down the first blood. Shadow Stampede pulls on back, but Drian, the Stinger again and again. The power of this Hellcurt is scary.
1-for-1 trade, but Dewa get the turtle. 2-for-1.
Considering the situation, I think it benefits Dewa for sure. This is how they want to play. They want to use it Barats, and this is what they're so good at doing. And the fact that they have such a solid front line with save potential and disengage, this means that Drian can be a lot more free in waiting for an opportunity. And you saw earlier, he was just waiting in the wings, waiting for an opportunity, and when he spots a free kill, he goes for it. Yeah, talent predictions though. Miracle, I don't like what I see.
Hey, I mean, it depends, right? Last game, oh, you're right. Last game didn't really go too well. Drian.
Shortcut, Drian is in big trouble, but he's a fast human being. The Spear of Destruction will bring Skylar forward, the Flicker forward as well. Shadow Stampede cancelled, and Kaze is able to run out safely, but Skylar, with the aggressive move and the spell, gives him that kill.
The Dark Knight falls earlier. I don't think it was used right for Drian. So it was just pure movement speed that he got out. That was insane. Case.
Skylar pulled back in the Shadow Stampede. He could be in next menu, but the Watt gets the kill. And the realm now popped up by Dewa. Vin though, so much damage dished out. But the players of RRQ, K's still trying to sustain the players of Dewa United again. An even change. But Skylar is dead, so that is a net advantage for Dewa United.
The utility usage as well from Drian with the Terrify, but most importantly, the Dark Knight Falls. If the shortcut is placed and the Dark Knight Falls comes through, RRQ might actually feel a bit of pressure just finding the portal to get to these team fights.
Constant fights left, right, and center. And this time, it is all in the eyes of the turtle. The epicentrum is here for both teams. Could this possibly be a 50-50 for both teams? Shortcut open, none yet taken though. But Lanaya is pushed back, and this turtle is all free for RRQ.
Dewa, according to the keys to victory, they need to play in their Season 12 style. Committing into team fights is a no-no. They can always look for the top.
Oh, Spear of Destruction is connecting! And Rian is just gone. The Spear from downtown snipes him. That is an extra kill for Vin.
So do you split push against global pressure, or do you just succumb to that global pressure? Arashi, they're going for more!
Vin is so aggressive, is being able to find these skirmishes. But now Skylar, with the Spear of Destruction, able to teleport up top and getting that tier 1 turret.
A very welcome swing and momentum for RRQ, equalizing in the tower trade as well. That's the kind of power they have right here, but that's only available when no neutral objectives are around for Dewa to predict RRQ's movement. And if you look at how they're playing, they're always together. They know that they have that burst damage, and they want to really let Drian get a lot of resources. The fact that they let him, quote-unquote, split push alone right there, it just shows again how much they're willing to give up. If you look at the items though, Clay with the physical defense boots, just because it's up against a Hellcurt, but he went for the Enchanted Talisman immediately, so more spammability, but he will not have the same kind of damage we were seeing earlier from a Yi with like a full damage item though.
Look at that though. The ambush the Kings tried to look for, possibly to take Lanaya down. Not effective for now. Will be able just be maneuvered out of by the Dewas. Both teams waiting for the next neutral objective. What power spikes are we waiting for? Drian has secured that corrosion site. Vin is in that bush. He might be smelling something. Drian, as a chip player himself, he should know that something is fishy when the chip doesn't show himself in the map. But also, it's a forced error. Look at Skylar, just free farming, constantly shoving these waves, getting everything in his way, while Vin stays invisible on the map.
The fact that Vin is just always in the wing somehow just denies the pickup potential, but he might be a bit too far aggressive.
Stampede towards Vin. Litzona's welcome as well to lock him in place, and he is dead. Dixon gets the kill, but Dawn with the bravest fighter jumps forward. Turtle now asks the main objective, and wow, popped up Lanaya again. The retribution has been on point. The RWM trying to dish out more damage. Dixon in the back line. The Appraiser's Wrath will execute him. Lanaya though gets Clay in the process, and Dawn has to run for the hills. Irad as well. Unseen, and Dewa again winning the neutral objective.
And even the fight, I believe, Skylar wasn't there. The Dark Knight Falls was used as utility again for Dewa. Irad looking for it.
Moving forward, crash course towards Lanaya. He is immobile, can't move anywhere. The Appraiser's Wrath will add even more damage, and Skylar attributes himself to the kill. Shortcut back towards top lane, trying to clear out the wave.
Wow, man, I mean, considering the situation here, I'm surprised RRQ keeps going for the 50-50s here, contesting always for the neutral objective. But Irad now making the aggressive play alone.
Pull forward, Dark Knight falls, Irad is gone to Skylar! A sliver of HP, almost get executed by Drian. But now Irad is stuck, he's able to move forward, getting the purple buff. He will do just that as it disengages, and almost Skylar
almost picked off. That was Drian with the execute too. He popped into Dark Knight Falls, had the stingers. I don't know exactly what happened there, but it seems like Skylar was able to evade with a flicker, perhaps an Abyssum step as well. But my goodness, the audience prediction here, you can see the Kingdom still in full force, 72% towards the Kings.
Oh, they moved back to Entropy. Popped up RWM, but Irad is just eradicated as RRQ lose their jungler. And Dewa is happy with this trade.
Dewa are playing for the late game here. They're trying to weather the storm, and they're doing a pretty good job at it. 2 neutral objectives so far, and still a 1,000 gold lead to their side.
I mean, Skylar has been farming a lot, but so has Watt. And the longer the game goes, the more this Natan is going to have a lot more impact. It feels like RRQ are forced into this neutral objective contest scenario because all they have are big ultimates, real-world manipulations, bravest fighters. If they don't go for these big fights and they go for the small skirmishes, they don't have the same kind of tools that Dewa has right now to immediately go for an instant pickoff.
He's there back in the back line. He's trying to create a flank angle because he can just pop up the shortcut, and you have 4 members just running into the portal. Ooh, that is going to be very scary.
It could be this flank. If they find Watts. By the way, Holy Crystal, super fast atomization, 9th minute of the game.
Concealed play, but it's pulled inside. The backline of Dewa United. Katona's welcome, but Dixon will be safe with the Nether Realm. Watt again with the double kill. He's just spamming the damage. Dawn in the midst of it all will die to the hands of Drian. The RWM is not enough. As again, the Kings slowly losing their throne.
The foundation of their towers, Watts!
Watt again just stepping forward! And Skylar, the Crown Prince, loses his crown. It is snatched by Watt. Take a bow.
The Season 1 veteran, the god in Dewa United. What is a king to a god, he says, as he blinks forward and takes RRQ down. Lanaya secures the Lord. Oh my goodness, Dewa.
That was a terrible fight for RRQ, losing everything. And Dewa takes the fight, they take the neutral objective, and now with the Lord at their backs, RRQ no longer can just push around and leave Vin to look for a weird flank angle with the portals. Now they will have full control, and they're going to be using the waves efficiently as well. Probably trying to time all of it, and Watt is just still constantly farming. He's already on the Divine Glaive, by the way, working on his final item. Skylar has a 3-item power spike, but without an Inspire, without even more items, still concerned about the burst damage. He does not compare to Watt in damage output.
How are they going to withstand the siege? How are they going to withstand Watts in the fronts? Vin looks for a flank, but even then, every time he's been looking for it, he gets decimated by the Natan damage. He even can get close, he even can pop the shortcut, and by the time he does, he's dead. If anyone follows through that portal, they're dead as well. Watt has been controlling the team fight just with his pure damage now since the Holy Crystal and now the Divine Glaive. Arashi, what are the win conditions for the Kings?
I feel like they have to try and, of course, control Watt, but at the same time, they keep sending Dawn to try and control Watt in the middle of these fights, and they're trying to rely on Clay to be zoning, but oh, look at Vin!
Vin just flickers forward, pops the shortcut. It is in the backline of Dewa United. The entropy popped forward, and Watt, just like the name says, he is godlike. He is unstoppable. And RRQ again, losing members left and right. Their castle is under siege, and Arad has to flee away, but Skylar in the backline just free hitting towards Dixon. Thankfully though, he gets the kill. Oh, he will teleport back towards what? A brave play! Skylar gets the double kill. The Crown Prince is able to create a glimpse of hope. Case looking for an aggressive play, but it will not succeed.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. The Crown Prince had to take some sort of angle to come back in this game. But even then, was it worth it? He got a shutdown, but at what cost? 4 members down for RRQ. They couldn't get any objectives over that kill.
But equalizing in the gold advantage, it's a bit of a small win for RRQ. And that's a statement from Skylar to the members of Dewa. You know, we're in the losing situation right here, but it doesn't mean he can count me out. He is still in the game, looking for plays, trying to make the best out of the whole situation. When it comes down to it, the only way they can counter Watt is either using Dawn or using the real-world manipulation. The problem right now is that Dawn goes forward and Clay can't really keep up and match his range to try and back the team up. So the fact that Dewa has been able to move in and out freely here, choosing where and how they want to fight, is what's causing RRQ to just get so confused. They can still rely on the global pressure if they want, but they have to be careful because Dewa can very easily force them into a fight. They do have the big engage tool because Dixon is on the Ruby.
Now it goes back to that waiting game. RRQ mounts a possible battle once again, and that battlefield will be set around the Lord. This will be the start of a comeback or the end of this game with this Lord. Look at that siege potential from Dewa with the Natan. Look at the pick potential with the Ruby. No ambush angle for now. Vin gets pulled.
I'm offended. He is offended, but Vin is able to just move away, bobbing and weaving. Shortcut opened up, but no follow-up. They're not entering the portal, and this could be them just stuck behind. Dark Knight Falls pop up. by Rian, but Finn, he secures the Lord. The King gets it, but Naya will be able to take down Finn. RWM in the back line, but Rian with the mega kill. He just keeps on giving, but Skylar again and again. He is the last line of defense for RRQ, the Prince, not giving away his kingdom.
The castle halls have been shook, but RRQ stand together. Somehow the captain, he was able to find a lord in the midst of the battle. And Dewa, now their own kingdom, their own castle, their base is being sieged down. Watt sent up top to deal with the lord, but in the bottom lane, Skylar, the crown prince, is doing work.
Now with less turrets, there's more space for RRQ to make the plays happen. And I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but Skylar has purchased a Radiant armor. What? Oh, he switched up for Rose Gold right there too. He's swapping items rapidly. Man, he just made the craziest plays in the middle of that fight, and that's the advantage that Moskov has over the Natan. Damage output is in the hands of Natan, but when it comes to maneuverability, when it comes to the stuns, the output potentials, the Moskov has something to say about this year, and RRQ, with this change in momentum, now controlling the pace, can they find something? Can they control the map in such a way that they can deny Dewa's pick-off, Dewa's own pick-off and like surprise tools?
It's all about the buffers at this point. How do you face off a Natan? Not in an all-out fight. You need to go back and forth, kite him out, wait for that entropy, and then look for the re-engage. That's what Moskov has in the advantage. Once you bait out the entropy damage output, you might actually be able to win that out. But the thing is, Watt can survive that initial damage output, and even the further damage outputs. He has a Wind of Nature in his item set, in his inventory. He has a Bloodwing as well. So additional shielding, immune to physical damage. RRQ will have to work together if they want to assassinate Watt in the back.
And that seems like the only option right here, because remember, the Netherrealm is still definitely a problem. And we haven't even addressed the fact that Drian has been an absolute menace right here. Always entering the fight late, just waiting for the right opportunity. And there was never any pressure for him to try and get in faster.
And Rashi, we've seen different builds for the Hellcurt, but we've mainly just been focused on the Hellcurt for Bloisky going for pure damage, going for an assassination. Hold up, before we talk about that, a possible assassination attempt for RRQ. Ambushing, slowly but surely. It will stop for now. The Lord, another set, another location for the next battle, this time up top. But back to Hellcurt's build. It's an attack speed build for Drian. Golden Staff, DHS Corrosion, and the Windtalker building towards the Sea Halberd as well. But what is this build, Arashi? What is he trying to do? What is he trying to achieve with this build?
He's achieving a dueling presence. No one right now in the sense of RRQ can really 1v1 him. Not in a full-on brawl, but look at this. That's already entropy used up. Vin was able to survive there. Now RRQ with that information, when they just saw Drian on the bottom side earlier, what will they do? They can't really bank on being able to get a miracle steal like we saw just earlier. They have to have a different plan.
A window of opportunity, but that opportunity is so slim. It's a tight window that RRQ cannot fit in. Look at the ult, look at the entropy, it's back up again. It's practically at 10 seconds in the cooldown. They need to bait it out and fight instantly. That's the only way. But even then, like you said, Arashi, Dewa, they've been able to utilize Drian on the attack speed build to have that 1v1 presence, that dual presence in the bottom lane. That initial burst, though amazing against these squishies, he knows he's going to be up against the Lapu Lapu for the most part in that side lane. He'll be able to dish out so much damage that the Lapu will be the one forced back. The Lapu will be the one making these desperate attempts and maybe even going and in the shortcut in the portal. Skylar, Queen's Wings, what did he swap for that?
Wow. Seems like not the Rose Gold.
Dixon.
Well, towards Vin, he is caught. The Night Knight falls. Rian looking for Skylar. Skylar, you have to be careful, but there he goes with the Vin Walker. He's gonna fight back, and he gets the kill towards Rian. Now in the back line, though, that realm popped up, and it is going to silence the players of Dewa United. But RRQ goes forward. Case is low. Clay gets one. It is down, and they run for the hills. The gods has been slain.
Oh!
And Dewa United, they crumble piece by piece, one by one. Erat gets Case. And this could
Lord
be
lah, Lord.
the kingdom slowly rejoicing. A mountain to
aja,
climb.
Lord.
And they're up in the hills.
With the kingdom in ruins.
Paksa ya.
In a battle that looks lost, the crown prince leads. The kingdom leads his army to a miraculous comeback. 1-0 start. The miracle, the run still alive for RRQ Hoshi.
It's gonna take everything that they have right here to adapt, to come up with more ways to win in these crazy games. But they are doing it, and they're definitely not going down without pushing Dewa to their limits. Taking the first game, getting that much closer to potentially reaching that playoff stage.
Still an uphill battle for the kingdom. One game victory to shift the momentum, to get them in a better spot. But my goodness, that game was close. A bit too close for comfort, even for RRQ. All back to a complete reset now as we wait for the next game. Dewa, they had all the keys to victory in their hands. They had everything. That game was theirs to lose, and they lost it. What happened? What was the catalyst to this comeback?
I think it began with the fact that both teams were just waiting around. Of course, there's more damage coming in from the Lord. There's poke damage coming in from Clay on the Eve. But the macro game, right? We thought that the Spear of Destruction and the portals are going to allow RRQ to be the ones that's going to be a bit more troublesome when it comes to the split push, the macro. But it turns out it was Drian with the 1v1 build, just split pushing. Right there, he gets caught off guard, and Skylar was able to just secure that kill. With the flicker that we were questioning, he was able to close the distance, and even in the end right there, they were able to find Watt somehow, some way. Player of the game, presented by our official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 series. Who else could it be but Skylar? Wow. He has 2 items gone, by the way.
You can look at him just,
swapping
and you can
items.
tell, yeah, he was swapping items. He was buying the Queen's Wings, he was buying the
Radiant armor.
as well, and just swapping it for the RGM. So this guy, time and time again, has been the building block for RRQ. And he's just performing. He was just delivering. I thought that RRQ would crumble in that last fight because Drian was specifically targeting Skylar in that 1v1. But he was able to, escape with the Abyss Walker, and he was able to dish out the damage. And Watt, in the meantime, just burst it down.
Who in their right mind would expect a Moskov, a guy who doesn't have Purify, to win out of the 1v1 against an assassin, that being Helker too, with an execute? He did it. Flicker, Abyssum Sep, whatever it was, to outplay Drian. Let's walk us through this game again, Arashi, to see the brilliance of the Crown Prince, who led his team to victory.
I mean, even earlier, man, here, there was a heartbreaking moment, and I think a lot of people would have been like, wow, this really is over. But not RRQ, not the Crown Prince, still defending, still finding ways. And right here, out of nowhere, make it to play. I don't think they were expecting that at all. And he goes in, knowing that he lends the stun, gets a double. And again, there were just great moments. Even here, the captain finding the Lord out of nowhere. They did not win out in the fight, but it definitely bought them valuable time to try and find moments of success. And even there, when they are the ones chasing, when they are just approaching RRQ, here's the moment here from Skylar. Drian walks there, and he thought he was out, but then the flicker comes in too. And just like that, I believe he walks up here and then joins the fight. And Watt right there was actually caught, even though he did have the Purify. He had the Wind of Nature. There was a good mix of damage coming in from RRQ. We talked about the Yeet impact, and we didn't see a lot of it. Not a lot of game-changing moments, but right there, the fact that the Wind of Nature was up and he got deleted by Clay really won RRQ that fight.
We can really take a look at a few shades in the early game. How Skylar really want to approach this game is the fact that he was kind of an assassin, I'd say, because he was jumping up top, getting the kill towards Rion, and then in that mid snipe against Watt. But the problem was that Skylar was faced with so many obstacles. If like he just teleports backline, you know, there's Dark Knight Falls, and he's gonna be slowed down with all the movements. And I feel like RRQ was like, okay, Skylar, you gotta make a play. You gotta be an assassin at some point. Even with all the obstacles given by Dewa United, you know, the Netherrealm, the Dark Knight Falls, he's still able to get the kills, get the snipes, get the assassinations, and just kind of like transcend into the late game as this quick and just strong marksman. And he just delivered. This is your crown prince, Skylar.
It's phenomenal stuff, really, from Skylar, how he's able to evade from the constant attempts at his life, on his life, from a Hellcurt. But did this build have a negative impact as well to how much burst he could apply to Skylar? Was that an issue here for Drian? Because sure, he would win in the 1v1 against a tankier member like Don. But in initial burst, does he not have that initial burst that you would usually have on a Hellcurt to assassinate a marksman?
I think when it comes down to it, if he lands the full combo, he can still definitely one-shot Skylar. And considering the fact that Skylar wasn't really hanging on to the wind of nature, swapping out items left and right, I feel like if he didn't walk into Skylar in a bush the way he did in that final sequence, it would have been a whole different story. But the fact that Dewa United are the ones who have the control, who have the late game, who are managing the waves technically better due to the Hellcurt presence, Drian just, through his experience, decided there's a play to be made right there. And if it worked, it would have been an amazing moment. And that's the risk that he took. He went for the 50-50. He walked into the uncharted territory of RRQ's jungle. And unfortunately for him, Skylar, of all people, read through it and punished him. And again, you don't usually see the Moskov with a flicker. So at some point, I think Drian himself would also feel like, okay, I got out. That was close. But then, whoa, Moskov, 2 gap closers? What was that?
Yeah. The Abyss Walker, the Flicker, you just have so much mobility to either re-aggress or save yourself. And for Skylar, that was re-aggression.
I think it's cool that he didn't really attempt to try and match a Natan, you know,
In a full front to back?
in a full damage output showdown, because we've seen it again and again. You just don't do it. You just can't do it. So he goes for the other alternative. He plays riskier. He buys items like the Radiant Armor, all these weird items, so he can go a bit more aggressive and find something crazy.
When all was lost, even hope as well at one point with Watts slaying Skylar, the heartbreak, the kingdom still prevails and hope is still in the air. The last hope remains for RRQ, but it isn't just a one-game victory type of deal for them. It's an uphill battle where they need to win all their matches and preferably for them all their games. Even if they will get one game, it gets tough for them.
Yep.
So far, so good for RRQ. Let's see the adaptations for game number 2. Very, very soon we will have that game, but I still cannot believe that comeback happened. Against a Natan who got a Divine Glaive at the 10th minute of the game.
Holy Crystal as well, was so
Holy
quick.
Crystal at 9 minutes. Now, in any other game, usually you would see that and you'd be like, all right, GG's. What can you do against a Natan that's snowballing? A Natan that waits for late game can deal that crazy damage, can just come back the game, and that's what we saw from Geekfam versus RRQ last week.
Right.
A snowballing Natan. They came back against a snowballing Natan.
That wasn't a snowball from the Natan, it was an avalanche. And it was so unstoppable to a certain degree, but then Skylar showed up with a Moskov, a Flicker as well, and the audacity to jump in and assassinate Watt. I think that was just crazy.
We even saw the progression of Skylar's plays. Usually always called the guy who stays in the back super safe, but there he went all in. He knows it's all in or nothing for his team, for the kingdom. Let's throw it over to Bude Clara Momstar with an interview with the fans.
Kalian lagi ngomongin apa tentang kemenangan ini, tentang minggu ini?
Banyak banget sih kalau misalnya kalian join WhatsApp channelnya RRQ, di situ tuh kita ada kayak spesial foto yang kalian gak bisa dapetin dari tempat lain gitu. Khusus dari tim RRQ-nya.
Yang nggak dipublish di sosmed?
Nggak dipublish di sosmed. Jadi kayak ada foto-foto player, video player gitu. Selain itu juga ada random question sama ada giveaway eksklusif.
Wih, bentar, ada banyak nih ya. Tapi Bude mau penasaran sama random question.
Oke.
Itu semuanya bisa ikut dong.
Semuanya bisa ikutan.
Kapan tuh?
Pokoknya kalau random question tuh biasanya diadain hari Selasa sama Jumat.
Oh, jadi harus mantengin ya Selasa
Harus
Jumat tuh.
mantengin. Dan biasanya nanti tuh ada voting gitu kayak,
Ada apa aja tuh?
merchandise. Bude, merchandise eksklusif RRQ.
Ih banyak banget ya. Kalau foto-fotonya berarti foto-foto di backstage ada nih?
Ada.
Foto-
Dari turun mobil juga ada fotonya.
Foto player lagi selfie ada nggak?
Ada.
Ada?
Ada. Pokoknya
Bude
dicek
mau.
aja.
Bude selalu mau, tapi cara joinnya gimana?
Oh, cara joinnya gampang banget. Jadi kalian masuk ke WhatsApp yang pertama, terus kan ada tab updates tuh. Diklik tab updates-nya, terus diklik juga tuh ada tanda panah. Kok panah sih? Plus.
Plus.
Iya, tanda plus terus nanti tinggal search aja RRQ. Nanti kalian tinggal klik plus lagi, tinggal join deh.
Wah, enak banget di situ. Kingdom udah pada ngumpul ya.
Udah pada ngumpul, udah banyak banget Bude di sana.
Jadi update-annya selalu terupdate, info-info juga ada di situ. Foto-foto player talent juga ada dong.
Talent kadang ada, kadang enggak. Ya pokoknya banyak lah di sana. Pokoknya tim RRQ di sana ada semua. Dari Valorant, Mobile Legends, FF juga ada.
Pokoknya semuanya ada di situ, keluarga besar RRQ dikumpulin. Dan udah berapa nih membernya? Ribuan?
Aduh, lebih Bude. Hampir.
Ratusan ribu?
Lebih lagi.
Ke atas?
Ke atas.
Oke. 100 ribu, 200 ribu?
Enggak, hampir
500?
2 M Bude.
Hah? 2 juta?
Betul, hampir 2 juta. Sekarang 1,8 M sih.
Waduh, jangan sampai kelewatan. Coba dong diajakin semuanya. Ayo.
Ayo, Kingdom jangan lupa join WhatsApp channelnya RRQ.
Ini bisa scan di sini. Udah Lemon pegangin barcode-nya.
Ada.
Udah tunjukin juga, dan sepertinya sembari kalian join WhatsApp channel dari RRQ dan nge-scan yang ada di tangan Lemon, kalian bisa langsung menikmati
Betul.
game yang kedua. Karena game pertama sudah didapatkan oleh RRQ, bagaimana halnya dengan game yang kedua? Akankah Dewa menyamai kedudukan atau akan ada 2-0? Jadi langsung aja kita lemparkan caster. Let's go, silahkan caster.
For those of you who want to join the kingdom, there you go. There was a WhatsApp group where you guys can join and, mingle with the rest of the kingdom. I think after that win especially, there's going to be a lot of new fans of RRQ supporting RRQ. But we'll have to see the outcome of game number 2. First, whew, what a game. Oh, what do you think? Realize
I was
that game,
speechless.
man. Game number 2 in the horizon. Very, very close. But I have to tell you something, though, before we get into game.
What's that?
That gold, that game was gold.
Ah.
It was
MLBB
UBS
gold.
It was MLBB gold and UBS gold, Arashi. And for you, Arashi actually got the previous collaboration. You guys can get the new one. Coming soon, epic collaboration limited series, UBS Gold X MPL Season 13. Stay tuned in May 2024 on at ubs.gold and at ubs.lifestyle. And it's also available for you guys to check at ubslifestyle.com or any UBS Lifestyle e-commerce.
I mean, this collaboration is not just golden, it's epic. It's very epic.
It's legendary.
It's godlike.
It's
But I don't know if
mythical
you want to be
immortal.
godlike, because what was godlike in that game?
He was.
And you lost.
So
Perhaps you might want to just stay humble, Like you don't need those titles. Maybe what you need is just an amazing device so you guys can enjoy your life and also get all the benefits. Look at these people, the couple.
Love
Team
birds.
Galaxy Zone. They're in the Galaxy Zone because they got that Samsung phone. All of them have the Samsung phone. And if you guys want to join in the Galaxy Zone, join us in the MPL Arena with your Galaxies.
That's privilege. I mean, coming to MPL Arena, you have your Samsung Galaxy phone. You'll just become a VIP, man.
Yeah, Arashi, that's why he is the VIP.
He is the VVIP.
VIP because, his team just won, gave him one, and he has a Samsung S24.
Always puts me in the front row with all the cool people, all the other cool kids, like you nerds.
So are we cool kids or are we nerds? You gotta choose, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with the cool kids. Y'all nerds, because you ain't using. If you ain't using the Samsung,
But I am.
oh,
We
you are. Oh, then we are all part of the cool kids club. And whoa,
Just
speaking
like
about
them.
the club,
Speaking
newcomers.
of the cool kids, we got Vivian, Cindy, Chell, Vival and Fumi just recently welcomed them to Team Vitality. An acquisition from Bigatron era to now Vitality. And we're really excited to welcome Team Vitality as a major international esports organization, a team with so much history from different games, man. FPS titles, I've been following them, and even MOBA titles on PC. It's been really fun to see their journey, and now to see them in MLBB, in the Indonesian MLBB esports scene, it's amazing.
They're well known for their kind of like French type of
Yes, it's a
team, like
French
organization lineups, but now they're branching away globally, so I feel like this could herald something great for MPL Indonesia.
A lot of people are asking though, like, this is a team with a unbroken streak. Now that they're having a new identity, is the streak technically still active? I feel like it should be, right?
It should, right? But technically, it'll be kind of different, right? Because it won't be with the same org. I think the org still has that. So they need to find their new, achievements. And in MWI, they definitely have a shot at that. This roster has been absolutely phenomenal. I believe 27 win streak with Team Vitality. We'll see if they can achieve the same and maybe even more than that. Well, let's get back into the game, ladies and gentlemen, as Budeklar Monster, wow, taking a few pictures there with the Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
We all know that she is also one of the Kingdom's army people, men. No,
Army
no.
peopleman?
Peopleman. But let's take a look at this game. Dewa actually still decided to go red, so yeah, preferred side for them is still red. They almost made it work with that cheese pick.
They do want to have that final last cheese pick. It worked once before when it comes to the drafting phase. What's to say it can't happen again, so they're doubling down on it. But RRQ, now they let go of the Nathan right here. You have to wonder for Dewa. They went with the Angela, but now they're forced to pick between the Angela and the Matilda. It was Angela last game, so we'll have to see what gets left open.
Take up the Nathan, out of respect, of course, from Dewa. I mean, from what? He's a very versatile gold laner and marksman user as well. So I don't think that a Nathan ban will really blow him out of the water. But then again, Dewa, they have to kind of constitute a different approach. Maybe re-pick the Hellcurt if it's not bad, but again, RRQ, they have the first pick, so they can also pick it up for themselves, but we have not really seen either Vin or Rod play this Hellcurt.
I wonder if Dewa are also kind of unconsciously locked into a Claude right here. With a Nathan not available, the second best similar pick that operates about the same way is usually the Claude. And what is known to play that? And if it's left open, it's like RRQ will definitely try and go for it. So they might be kind of indirectly forced into that pick.
Here we have a comment from the big boss, Bigatron Alpha, Ko Edwin. RRQ, there's still hope for playoffs for them. So, Tupa Ape, don't give up via his Instagram story. BTR star list. From a Bigatron, CEO to an RRQ CEO, from a Bigatron fan to the Kingdoms. Good luck. Good luck. There's still hope, Arashi. Don't give up. I'll say the same thing here as RRQ do the same thing too. The Angela is left up for grabs, by the way. Unlike game number one, and they've actually ignored it. They've gone for the Fredrin instead. So, Dewa, Angela pickup, very possible.
A very possible one for Dewa to just take this Angela. It either goes to Case or to Rian, but I don't really think Rian really wants to play the Angela, but maybe that could just provide them with another layer of support and kind of like sustainability for the team fights where RRQ really wants to brawl out later on. If they draft accordingly to that need, but they will pick up the Angela and a Claude. A comfort pick for what? And also taking away Skylar's potential hero.
Goal presence, Arashi. They try to go for,
again.
instant Moskov.
This is a new favorite for Skylar here. Going up against the old signature pick for Skylar, the Claude. But it's a great move from Dewa here to go for the Angela and Claude instead. And now, with the Fredin already taken, there's no way RRQ goes for a Barats. So they can still secure that Barats-Angela combo. And it means for RRQ, in the previous game, they can afford to let Skylar have a bit more of a quirky build. But now they're going to really require him if they want to really burst down through that massive front line that tank Barats in the jungle.
Wow. Technically now, for RRQ, they're really thinking about their last pick there. It's going to be the same chip over. Turns out, it's a Valentina. Wanting to copy that IMU, giving Skylar even more sustain. I mean, technically for Fredrin too in the early game. So, trying to just stay adaptable in this first phase. Dewa, do they secure the same pick here that they had in game number 1? Barat's up for grabs. We know the combo of Angela Barat's. That magic damage from the Baksha as well, technically, so they can still flex that Angela as a roam to mid. Now on the bans, Dewa take away the Terizla. They want to have the control over RRQ when it comes towards those neutral objective setups.
That's just denying Don another good pick, as well as kind of like an initiator that could just battle the backline of Dewa, because they have a very, very strong front line. Just with the Baxia and the Angela equipped to it, you have so much sustain to be able to just withstand the power of RRQ, especially when you have the Moskov just pinning you down, and the Valentina as well. And the Yuzong ban taken away from Dixon. Again, just disables Dewa United to execute that rolling ball of death. You have the Baxi just dive to you with the hard guard equipped, and also like a Black Dragon with the Black Dragon form just diving into you. That is just going to spell trouble for RRQ.
And from Dewa, banning away the Terizla, I think it's a great move. They want to be mobile here. They want to move in and out of fights and force RRQ to overextend, overchase, and punish them afterwards. Without the Terizla, that's a great frontline tool that can tank some damage and can also keep them in areas they want to move away from. So that will no longer be available for RRQ, and neither will the chip. So no global gameplay coming in, unlike in Game 1. That will be a big factor for RRQ to try and strategize around. But it also means that there's a potential for Vin to come out with something a lot more aggressive.
Speaking of aggressive, speaking of morale, the Kingdom are feeling it here in the building. Hopes are high as RRQ came back from that goal deficit in game number 1. And RRQ, the players here definitely feel that support that is growing and growing as they keep on drafting with the CC ban, trying to limit the carry potential and the flex potential of that Angela. Having a Baksha, having a Claude, and then a CC as well. Comboed in with the Angela would be quite disgusting, so they take away 2 picks that are really good to combo together with the Angela, the Yuzong, and the CC. Dewa, they go back to a normal Lapu for Dixon, or possibly an X-Borg could come through as well. I don't know if you want to risk giving that ultimate, though, to the Valentina.
That is something that they can probably consider right here, and they want to show this EXP first so they can remain elusive with that rover pick. Turns out it's going to be the Edith. They're going to try and go for team fights, long drawn-out fights. The Edith is a great selection right here, and with everyone being so close together, there's a chance that Dixon can make a big play happen. Now for RRQ, understanding that they are outmatched when it comes to damage output, I have to wonder if they're trying to go for more crowd control or more damage.
Let's take a look at the comment here from Fluffy. Maybe because of the frequent roster changes, RRQ haven't found their formula yet. And I have to agree, for RRQ, they've been shifting rosters back and forth. A lot of members is going back and forth, and it just feels like it's kind of what EVO suffered through in Season 10 and then Season 12 as well with their constant roster changes. Right now, RRQ do look pretty solid. Maybe this is the lineup that will grant them that victory rock for Captain Vin, and the Lapu from game number 1 returns in game number 2 for Don.
Again, this is a strong lineup to just match the dueling potential in the hands of Dewa United, team fighting potential as well, because you have to Edith again for an extra layer of CC, and also just moving forward as the front line alongside the Baxia. So now how does Dewa respond? Mind you, this Angela can still be flexed, so they can either pick out a mage or just roll out with an XP pick of their own. But yeah, up in the cards for Dewa now to dictate what they want to pick.
Technically, the Edith could be using XP too. That's another possibility that Dewa might be able to utilize. Super flex in their draft so far. I mean, looking at the way it's being played here, I would actually expect the Edith to go roam, and it does go roam, but I did not expect the Khalid of all picks to make its way onto the scene. Khalid, not a popular hero. I think it's only been picked up once by Luke, and that was also a loss for Luke.
Also fire.
Oh, Pai.
Yeah, Pai.
And there was also a loss
Yeah, it was also
for
a
Pai
loss.
up against Onyx, I remember now.
Yeah.
So 2 times it's been picked, 100% losses, 0% win. Do you think it's a desperate pick? Do you think it's a desperate measure from Dewa Arashi?
I feel like it has potential. It has good lane dominance to try and shut down this Lapu. And later on, if they're really that concerned about Skylar, without a Purifier once more right here, that Raging Sandstorm, you can't spell Doom for him. On top of course, the output of damage. All these spammable spells, it's a completely different scenario for RRQ, who don't really have as many playmaking tools, so they have to be a bit more calm and calculated in how they want to approach these fights now.
The players need to be calm, but all you supporters, you need to start yelling. You need to start showing your support for game number 2 in the land of Dawn. We go. The decider for RRQ, whether they can clean sweep Dewa, or will they be forced to a game 3? Lanaya versus Irad in the jungle, the Baksha versus the Frederick.
There they go, of course. He's been trying to disrupt Lanaya. That purple buff take, that's just gonna be him being the disruptive Grok he is. And Rihanna with the Edith now. I think he's gonna add more unique heroes to his tally, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at the emblems here by GamesMax. Skylar once again with the tenacity. Watt with the Master Assassin. So he is the one trying to be aggressive. Drian though being the main front line, firmness and tenacity. So he wants to be just in the front, engaging and trading around as Vin. Ooh.
Quicker and Clay. After almost String is going to stun him in his own place, but Vin is there to shadow his mid laner. Brian again, Earth Shatter will not get anything from that mid altercation. So again, it's a trade of spells and a trade of abilities.
Well, fine and dandy now, but let's talk a little bit about this gold matchup. We were talking about how the Natan versus the Moskov is basically a lane that Moskov can utilize, his maneuverability to bully the Natan. And I think it's the same thing here up against the Claude. You can use that second skill to deny a lot of these minion takes from the Claude. And it should be a win for Moskov early on. And even, I think, later. You can technically say whenever you want to back away. Sphere of Misery, whenever he goes in with the BMI, and even a possible stun and a lot of kill pressure from this Moskov.
Look at the emblems right away. Well, I got Skylar and Watt just dueling it out right here. Whoa. There's a fist fight in the gold lane as on top the teams are both setting up. And you look at Dixon, he does have the Kentucky Blast, so there's a lot more extra burst damage he has when it comes to wave clear as well. And with the level advantage, they're already making their first move right here, even though RRQ are the ones aggroing the turtle, trying to maintain control over it.
Objective in their eyes, Shield Unity crashed in, the hard guard popped up, but the Bravest Fighter is there. But Dixon gets the first blood though. Vin will be able to move away. The Spear of Destruction misses from Skylar as they try to take down Dawn. Double kill for Dixon. Dixon is very well played, chases him forward with the Arcane Chain. He's able to get the double kill. No, he won't, he will! And Clay, the last standing man in the proximity of the neutral objective, is able to get the double kill.
Clay saving the play for RRQ. It looked like a horrible start to the game, but he was able to find a trade instead. Still, in favor of Dewa though, they got the turtle and 3 kills on the board. So RRQ will have to look to come back again. Dixon was phenomenal in that skirmish, and the audience prediction has grown to the side of RRQ. Earlier it was 70, now it's 80% towards RRQ.
For RRQ though, they have to be a bit more careful when it comes to the neutral objective contest, especially when they put Irad all the way out there, letting him be bursted down by everyone on the side of Dewa. But now Vin is the main target, and he'll be able to get out, and now it's back to the slow build-up. And for the most part, it does seem like RRQ just reacting.
Oh, Maya crashing in towards Vin. The hard gun as well equipped. The Guardian's barrier is there to just help him delay the arrival of Rian. But there goes the puppet on a string. Case though, in the back line, he's able to just weave away the Praetor's Wrath, getting the kill, and that is going to be Clay. Meanwhile, Watt will join to the fray. Skylar in the back line is able to jump forward, and again, Clay collecting the bounties, collecting the kills.
We were talking about how they still needed to look for a little bit of a comeback there from the win that Dewa got, and they got it instantly. Been able to force out a fight, and now Skylar is doing whatever he wants to the turret. RRQ skirmishing good. Irad stopping any play from Dewa from happening. And now the gold lead is in favor of RRQ.
I gotta say, man, the pressure that Clay is exerting right now, winning when it comes to the wave clear, of course, against an Angela, but also always finding the Primal Wrath, matching the extra damage output that Dewa supposedly should have. He rushed for the Necklace of Durance.
That will halt Skylar from snowballing, but Vin,
What charge towards what he will be taken down by Skylar. And that is an important kill towards the gold laner of Dewa, just trying to disrupt his progress, his farm, his gold, and his items.
Usually we see both these gold laners virtually untouchable, but now with a single setup tool, instead of just trading blows left and right as Drian trying to save the turret, it might be too greedy though.
This could be a dive. Drian is able to pop out from his stack form. Skylar now in danger. Case flickers forward. Skylar looking to just dodge it, but no, he will die in the hands of Drian. Backup is here though. Vin and Clay trying to avenge the death of the prince as Drian is able to hide with concealment. He's playing with the bush, and now what? Pops the blazing duet with the hard guard popped as well. They're able to just escape from that misery. Losing Skylar was a blow, and they almost lost themselves. Spear of Destruction?
no,
He
my
will
God.
jump forward.
Wow.
But there is still a follow-up there. Prolonged fight. Erad with the taunt will try to get Rian. Rian is down. And again, Clay. 5 kills to his name. Unstoppable.
No, we're not stopping Don!
A lot of fights happening in the land of Dawn now. And Dawn pops the bravest fighter, but Dixon is able to flee away. And the action is just not stopping.
So many skirmishes all across the map continuously happening. What the heck? Who won that rush?
I dare say RRQ, the fact that they came out with a structure and a comeback kill despite losing it out, it really seems like they're using the Spear of Destruction to really match the hard guard pressure, which is a weird situation to be in, but RRQ is making it work. Now going for the turtle. They have to go for a fight first though.
Lanaya crushing to a danger zone. Raging Sandstorm from Dixon. But there goes the wild charge and the bravest fighter as well. Turtle is just neglected for now as they fight their way towards the backline. Dawn flees away. Spear of Destruction will hit teleport. Still holding the trigger as Skylar is able to get the turret up top. But the turtle now is going to be secured by Erad. He jumps forward, but Dewa United is not stopping. Case gets the kill, and Clay pulls one back. The Blazing Duet will not be able to take anyone down. Clay now is going to be shut down by Drian. A large bounty in the hands of the roamer of Dewa United. Dawn could be here to save his captain. The bravest fighter popped up, but Dewa, they're able to evacuate 2 turrets for Skylar. Across map play for the Crown Prince.
During the battle, the chaotic battle in the bottom lane, the Crown Prince was sieging the turrets down up top, and they get another objective to translate over that victory. Despite the man advantage that Dewa got, despite more kills that they got, they lost on the objective game. Drian!
Dixon! The hard guard will save him temporarily, but not forever, as Skylar is able to get Dixon under that turret.
No minions, no problem. RRQ just out for blood again and again. And the mind games from Skylar, landing the Spear of Destruction, and for once, not going in to follow up with the play. That has allowed him to just clear the top side, confuse Dewa, and despite having a man disadvantage, they were able to get the neutral objective and get a relatively equal fight. And now they go for this bottom side turret. They have pressure and control all across this jungle.
Just trying to disrupt RRQ stakes towards his turret, but no. It will freely fall in the hands of Skylar. Again, the turret demolisher.
All 3 tier 1s taken down, 2 tier 2s already for RRQ, and only 1 tier 2 left standing in the mid lane. And they haven't even started with the Lord. 4,000 gold lead for RRQ, and Erad, big item power spike there with the Sky Guardian helmet. Expect some more damage with the Appraiser's Wrath HP. Definitely looking for Skylar because Spear of Misery.
Spear of Misery just tries to buy him some time to move away, but what behind? Trying to dish out the damage. Dawn jumps in. Spear of Destruction. Where Skylar jumped, the Raging Sandstorm is there. It is perfect, but Dixon gets Skylar. This is turning around for Dewa United. The Appraiser's Wrath will get Dixon in the process, but it's just Erad living to tell the tale. A spicy one at that, as he just lost his comrades in that battle, and he is next on the blacklist. As Dewa United, the gods just mighted the kingdom from up above.
A big smite down towards all 5 members. Straight to the Lord they go. Only Vin's up, and they won't be able to reach it. That's a free Lord to Dewa United. A comeback in game 2.
Over aggressive from RRQ, trying to extend their lead, but losing everything instead. Now with the Lord taken, they can still clear it, but they have to be careful, and they have to find a solution right here. That is not the first time Skylar has been deleted by the Raging Sandstorm, by the big burst damage play from Dewa United. Let's take a look at the replay by the Samsung Galaxy S24 series. It was looking so good for RRQ, kiting away from the bulk of the damage, using Dawn as a re-engage tool. But watch this, look at Dixon coming in. Just like that. The damage, the crowd control, and even though Clay has the Primal Wrath to try and trade back that damage, it just wasn't enough. Now RRQ on the back foot. Can they avoid more plays coming in from Dewa United?
Jan's just walking into the Lion's Den. But thankfully, though, he's okay. Dixon looking for a flank angle. Vin could be the next target. No, he's holding his sword and his trigger. So they just try to tone down the aggressiveness.
It's all good for Dewa. They have dealt with the 4,000 gold lead that RRQ had. Now it's mounting up. The momentum shifting similarly to game number 1 to Dewa, but this time the different side. Let's take a look at the items, Arashi. Item power spikes wise. That 4,000 gold lead for RRQ definitely led to RRQ getting a lot of big items. But now with Dewa turning that gold lead completely around, are they at a point where they can look for these fights comfortably?
In a sense, in a full-on fight, they have the Angela extra sustain, they have the Primal Wrath extra damage. Part of why RRQ were able to be so dominant is because Clay in particular was snowballing so hard in the early game. But this is like the second fight where he is left alone, trying to salvage the fight, and it just wasn't enough. Now both gold laners have just finished the Win of Nature, so when it comes down to a full-on duel, there's gonna be outplay potential available for both Skylar and Watt. So with the Purifier, I do feel like RRQ are the ones who are forced to really make a play, and Dewa can be a bit more reactive. A bit of a similar story to game number 1.
Truly is. Let's take a look at the real-time victory rate, still favoring RRQ with more turrets in hand and still with a 1,000 gold lead. 64% to 36% presented by Samsung Galaxy S24 series. Look at Dewa's maneuver. Trying to control the top side of the map, trying to force an error out of RRQ later on during the Lord. I believe an ambush is what they have planned. With Watt showing up like that, they have 2 members behind. Good wall to stop Drian there. A little bit of, a little bit of banter. Drian, you can't walk for a few seconds. It's all chill again. Both teams are just looking to reset, to look for those waves. Find an advantage, but RRQ doing the same towards the bottom lane.
And they have notably more control right here with Vin occupying this massive choke point. Of course, there's a chance that Dewa would rotate around, but since they just saw them on the top side of the map, I think they're going to be funneling down slowly right here. The waves for RRQ are just cleared now by Dewa, and it's very much even, but look at Keys already attempting to be that deciding factor.
This could be the next big fight. Rod just taunts Lanaya. The Guardian barrier will hold Lanaya in place. He's not able to relocate to his teammates. That's just going to be fine because their main focus is the Lord. As Watt blitzes forward, tries to chop down and chunk down Vin. Lanaya, Shield Unity just trying to roll around, but no further action taken.
Not yet. Still waiting, trying to reset, but now they pull the trigger!
They will go forward. Now Lanaya leads the charge, but the backline, no, and Rod! He gets the Lord, but the blazing duet from one is enough to take down Vin. Their captain is gone, but now this could be the time where Skylar will run from the flank. Raging Sandstorm is perfect. Watt gets done. Where is Skylar? Where's the Crown Prince? There he is! He gets Dixon, but so much damage given to nature for Skylar. He's able to bomb in wave 1. Is just stunned down, but the hard card is there. He gets the unstoppable Skylar forward, but he is just not enough. It is not enough for RRQ, but Erod with a double kill will be able to tone down the pressure case. 1v1, a dogfight in the jungle, and it is won by Erod, the Eradicator. with 5 dead gods under his feet, is able to stabilize the condition.
A fatal mistake from the Crown Prince, a flicker forward to an onward. But the Eradicator, the executioner of the kingdom, survives, saves the day for the team, now utilizing the waves to come crashing down to siege the turrets. It's Irad versus the world!
Irad trying to siege everything in his hands! The Pacers Wrath will deny Dixon of that fight. And as his name suggests, he is the Eradicator.
Oh wow, what a sequence of events from a lost fight salvaged by Irad. But a great call from RRQ to secure that Lord, and without Dixon, less threat for Skylar. RRQ are going to look for something. Is it the base turret, or is it possibly the end? 10 seconds.
On the death timers.
This could be the end for everything. Crystal, it's in their eyes. They want to bring the prosperity back to the kingdom. But it is going to be postponed, at least for now.
If all else fails, the Eradicator, the executioner of the kingdom, comes into the fray. A moment that looked to be RRQ's demise, a possible full comeback, but now fully back again to where RRQ started. A 4,000 gold lead and a massive turret advantage. Item check, Arashi. In-game equipment by Dunya Games.
Gold laners at full items already. Clay though, going for the lightning truncheon. I thought he was gonna itemize to try and take advantage of the primal wrath possibility, but no, he's just going for the regular damage. So even if he does not get the primal wrath, he is still gonna be relevant in this game. Drian though, on a Edith, more tankiness means more damage. He went straight for the Immortal after the Blade Armor and the Reading Armor, so he's in here for the long run. He's not trying to mitigate burst damage, he's here to stay in the front as long as possible. As Vin already feeling that late game claw damage. Again, full items including the Malefic Roar. But Skylar has sold his boots. Watt hasn't. That is the single.
Now he has.
Now he has. Never mind.
RGM, right as you say it, Arashi.
Oh!
On cue, they're trying to burst it down. They might be able to do it, yes!
Free Lord
Wow.
for RRQ. Shrouded in secrecy. And not even the gods took notice.
Blink and you'll miss it, quite literally. Just like that, 5k gold lead secured again by the mutual objectives and by all the turrets. Now for Dewa, they're trying to mount some kind of ambush right here. That's about the best they can get.
Oh, Drian with onwards now, trying to lock down, but the winner of Winter Truncheon will save Clay. Oh, he misses the Spear of Destruction, and Clay has to be the victim of that take. Dawn jumps forward, but Watt is just equipped with the Heart Guard. He's able to blend forward. Skylar! He will dish out the damage, but is it enough? Case will be able to be pushed back. Skylar again, hitting, free hitting.
Look at
but
the
not
base!
free enough for him. But the base now, Crystal for RRQ! The kingdom! The kingdom has stood bravely. They will not go down.
Dewa won the battle, but they lost the war. They took down RRQ, but not the kingdom's lord. Poetic, the same way Dewa United crumbled in the grand finals of the MDL finals, the MDL playoffs, to a lord. Last time it was evolved, this time it was enhanced. It happened again to Dewa, but this time up against the Kings instead of the Tigers. Stopping the 4-loss streak, RRQ increases their chances for the playoffs. The Kingdom ordered a 2-0 win. And the players answered their calls.
Express delivery through tough weather. That is what RRQ as a team was able to achieve. It looked messy and it looked so close in some of those moments, but in the end they got it done. What a moment for RRQ right here. It's not over just yet. They're still not at their goal, but this is a great step forward for now.
Their hopes of playoffs still alive. Better than ever with a 2-0 victory against Dewa United. Their next match, Alter Ego Esports. Another win that they need to get up against the three-faced masks. But today, it is a day of celebration for the kingdom of its glory against Dewa United. We'll throw it over to the stage for Dewa United.
Dan pada akhirnya perjalanan dari Dewa United harus berakhir di hari ini. Inilah dia perjalanan mereka dari awal season hingga akhir ini. Namun kita tak bisa bertemu mereka lagi di hari selanjutnya ataupun babak playoff. So, Dewa United, adakah yang ingin disampaikan? This is your last chance.
Sebenarnya nggak ada yang mau disampaikan. sorry. Pertama buat semua anak Dewa, mau itu internal atau eksternal, terima kasih banyak udah dukung kita sepanjang musim. Moker, terutama buat Moker. Ini musim pertama saya dan beberapa orang di sini, lumayan musim yang berat untuk pertama kalinya. Tantangan yang makin besar karena ya seperti yang kalian lihat di MPL persaingannya sekarang makin ketat. Jadi makin seru harusnya ya tiap musim. Ya sekali lagi terima kasih buat MPL dan para krunya juga buat musim ini. Nggak ada lagi sih yang mau disampaikan, mungkin itu aja.
Pengen nambahin satu aja sih. Buat yang udah nonton hari ini ya kita kasih match lumayan seru lah ya. Ada perang-perang terus lah ya. Daripada biasa kita main pasif-pasif gitu ya. Terutama buat anak-anak Dewa, buat Om David juga, buat semua. Sorry belum bisa bawa lolos playoff lagi kayak season lalu. Terutama buat moker tuh yang di sana tuh. Datang tiap hari, setiap ada match Dewa ya. Jangan kapoker. Ya. Terutama buat semua lah ya, buat teman-teman gua nih yang udah try hard, yang mau belajar bareng juga sama kita ya, mau bisa bilang sorry. See you next season.
See you next season. Mari kita beri tepuk tangan. Apresiasi terakhir untuk tim Dewa United Esports. Come back stronger. Dan sampai berjumpa di season selanjutnya. Ini adalah season kedua mereka. Season pertama mereka berhasil masuk babak playoff. Tapi season kali ini memang betul-betul season yang penuh dramatis. Dan tentu saja kemenangan dramatis baru saja didapatkan oleh tim RRQ Hoshi. Mari kita sambut sang pemenang dari match kita yang kedua. Tim RRQ Hoshi, silakan. Akhirnya memutuskan lustrik 4 kali dan akhirnya kemenangan kalian berhasil dapatkan lagi. Masih pada semangat gak ini? Still strong?
Semangat.
Semangat. Dan kita melihat bahwa tim RRQ juga tadi menangnya dramatis banget tuh. Momen Lord yang memang kalian sudah prediksi, kalian sudah rencanakan. Kemenangan tadi di game kedua. Apakah sudah sesuai dengan yang kalian memang buat seperti itu?
Atau sih kita lagi ngomong mengeplan tiba-tiba Deden kaget. Kena trap.
Oke. Lalu tapi Lordnya di tengah-tengah sendiri.
Iya, jadi kita tolong Deden juga password. Jadi Lordnya nggak ada yang clear juga.
Wow, dan semuanya terupanya sibuk untuk berperang.
Ya.
Dan akhirnya Lord bebas di area tengah. Apa reaksi kalian ketika Lordnya yang jadi MVP tadi di game kedua? Coba ada yang ngerespon nggak tuh di situ? Vin? Apa respon kalian tadi?
Ya senang menang.
Karena permasalahan yang terjadi.
Ya sedikit demi sedikit lah.
Perlahan. Namun kita tentu melihat bahwa chance mereka masuk playoff masih ada. Dan bahkan ini masih dilanjutkan dari 5 tim. 3 slot masih ada. Dan kalau ngelihat dari tim, mungkin Irat, how do you see in your first season, it's hard time for RRQ on your first season?
I think this is a challenge to me. Also, when I came to Indonesia, tiba-tiba ada motivasi banyak ya gitu. Terus for me, I think in life we need to lose to learn. Yeah. I mean, whatever happens to you, you deserve this. Yeah.
Ya, jadi memang dari Irat sendiri, ini adalah challenge untuk dia ketika datang ke Indonesia. Banyak pelajaran yang bisa dia dapatkan pula. Dan terkadang memang ada kekalahan juga, ada pelajaran yang didapatkan. But how do you deal with this pressure being on the bottom of MPL Indonesia?
We are nothing to lose sekarang. Bantu din.
Bantu Den, nothing to lose pokoknya. Gas baik, gitu kah Den sekarang? Bagaimana? Untuk ini adalah momen yang mendebarkan untuk RRQ. Gak biasanya kan RRQ berada di bawah, tapi gimana sekalian untuk bisa bertahan dalam pressure yang cukup besar?
Main aja.
Main aja?
Ya, menang alhamdulillah, kalah ya udah gitu.
Yang penting tetap usaha aja terus.
Ya kita berusaha semaksimal yang kita bisa lah.
Oke, ini tentu menarik. Semuanya ingin berusaha, semuanya ingin menang. Dan barusan kemenangan dari tim RRQ mengubah sesuatu. Dari klasemen sementara akan terjadi perubahan. Seperti apa dan sejauh apa klasemen berubah? Mari kita cek bersama-sama. Naik 1 peringkat ke peringkat yang ke-7 dengan match win yang sama dengan posisi 6. Dan tim RRQ masih punya 1 match lagi esok hari melawan tim Alter Ego. Jadi nggak menutup kemungkinan RRQ bisa naik bahkan bisa aja ke posisi bahkan 4 kalau atas-atasnya juga tidak punya kemenangan. Gimana kalian ngelihat hal ini? Dengan cukup tipis kemenangan ataupun kekalahan masuk playoff tuh kok tipis antara ada dan tiada. Gimana sih Don ngelihat hal ini?
Ya kalau kita nothing tulus aja sih udah. Mau menang atau kalah ya kita tetap kasih yang terbaik aja.
Oke, dan ini menariknya chance mereka untuk masuk ke babak playoff sangat besar ketika dari match mereka menang lawan Alter Ego besok, lalu EVOS Rebellion. Jika EVOS menang, maka Rebellion akan turun. Lalu kalau RRQ menang lawan Alter Ego, RRQ jadi masuk. Challenge kalian berarti memenangkan lawan Alter Ego. Susah gak sih lawan Alter Ego? Susah gak untuk kalian?
Susah.
Susah?
Ya, semua tim susah.
Untuk season ini memang susah?
Iya.
Tersusah bagi Skylar atau bagi...
Susah tapi kita ya bakal terakhir lah buat besok.
Dan mereka diem-diem nih ya. Tapi dari Alter Ego sendiri, apa yang paling kalian mungkin, ini kan benar-benar di depan mata ya ngelawan tim Alter Ego. Tim yang lagi juga tipis untuk masuk ke babak playoff. Apa sih yang mungkin kalian perhatikan betul dari tim Alter Ego yang paling kalian point out sebagai lawan kalian esok?
Aku deh.
Alter Ego lawan kalian besok nih. Apa yang paling kalian mungkin perhatiin banget dari Alter Ego sebagai last match kalian?
Ya mungkin link tas aja sih.
Linknya tas.
Ya.
Kunciin aja.
Gak tahu, lihat besok aja.
Lihat besok aja. Tapi menarik pastinya. Dan kemenangan hari ini, kemenangan yang sudah dinantikan. Budi juga kangen banget sama tim RRQ di sini. Setelah 4 kali streak kali ini, kemenangan hadir di tangan RRQ. Esok hari mungkin akan terjadi lagi, kita nggak akan tahu. Tapi ada yang mau disampaikan nggak sih dengan kemenangan kalian hari ini dan musik dan mungkin untuk esok hari?
Terima kasih lah buat Kingdom yang udah support kita dari awal sampai akhir. Semoga kita kasih hasil yang terbaik. Dan makasih buat Bang Bul.
Oh iya, sudah datang ya? Ini ada buluk efek.
Ada Bang Buluk.
Bang Buluk, terima kasih kepada Kingdom dan juga Bang Buluk. Dan inilah dia kemenangan dari tim RRQ. Chance mereka masuk ke babak playoff masih ada. Mari kita beri tepuk tangan untuk tim RRQ Hoshi. Caster 2-0, Lord MVP kah?
From the fall to the rise of the kingdom now, 4 loss streak. They denied it away from themselves, and now they're on their way to possibly making it to playoffs. Hope is still super, super high for RRQ Hoshi in Season 13, and we can't wait to see tomorrow's match as well. That will determine whether they can have a better chance, an even better chance to make it to the playoffs in their match against Alter Ego.
I remember in the first opening weeks of MPL IDs Season 13, we were all like, everything is so close. It's interchangeable. No one is safe. It's susceptible, precarious. And it just prolongs until the last minute and the last week as well. So RRQ, they still have a chance. And after that performance, that was a crazy end to a crazy game. The Lord just coming in, it was so poetic. Wow.
It truly was, Arashi, and I think I will have to give it to you to announce our player of the match.
MVP presented by our official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 series. It's your boy, Skylar. The new Moskov on the block. No Inspire, no problem. Both games, man, the plays that this guy was able to do, insane in game number 1, and even in game number 2, there were just some moments where you're just clenching your fists, just anxiously waiting for the moment that this guy just gets online. Boy, what a performance from Skylar.
I do want to let everybody watching back at home know that this is player of the match, not player of the game. Because personally, for me, player of the game of game number 2 is Irad / Lord.
Lord.
Could be debatable there for Irad or Lord, but this is player of the match. So the entire match. Skylar through game 1 and then game 2. But let's take a look at the highlights here presented by UBS Cole.
Begins with all this scrappy fighting, and I believe early on, it was Clay that was able to make this insane play with the Primal Wrath. He actually has my vote for the player of the game. Of course, Irad had great moments, but Clay, from the beginning, was able to make such a great swing of momentum for RRQ. And when Skylar is zoned away, is just finding it difficult to make an impact, the Primal Wrath option for Clay just allows him to be the secondary damage dealer. It wasn't enough though for this fight because of the selection, the focus from Dewa United. So it, by all means, was a very difficult game. But when it comes down to this Lord fights here, it just seems like RRQ had the better, more decisive decision making, and through that decision making, they were able to get so much advantage until here where it just looks so crazy. Let this play out here where Skylar was so low. Wind of Nature's traded out.
This is it.
And he was trying to get in here. There was a bit of hesitation, I feel, when he was trying to go for Drian in the bush right there. Unfortunately, he gets taken out, but Irad pulls it back from the brink with a sliver of HP, and that allowed them to get multiple base turrets. And here, the play, the Winter, to buy some time, and getting out, allowing Dixon, making Dixon use some spells to try and catch him. Afterwards, it was once again just a frantic scramble from both these teams, where Skylar once again gets taken out by the collective effort, but the Lord MVP seals the deal.
Oh my lord, that Lord. Man.
W Lord.
Of course it has to be RRQ to get a win with the Lord, right? The Lord of its kingdom.
But to be fair, right, you have to give credit to RRQ as well, because
for stopping the recalls.
Well, that too, but they're also very decisive
about it, Mirko, and I was like, okay, this is the end, because then RRQ were stalling. They were able to cancel the recalls, and there was just nobody trying to clear out. Not even minions were there to defend the base of the gods of Dewa United. So that is, again, yes, sure, sometimes, a lot of people could call themselves lucky for the Lord being able to take down the crystal. But then again, it was RRQ's decisiveness to take the Lord, to stall the fights, to prolong the fights, to burn out the spells and abilities of the players of Dewa United. That then gave them that advantage, that then gave them that Lord that was able to crush down the crystal.
Anything in particular for the items though, Rashi, right? Like, looking at the items again, was there anything that Dewa could have changed? Was there anything, interesting about RRQ's builds?
I think, again, for considering that Clay was basically a secondary damage dealer, I would expect less of a burst-heavy approach, but you don't want to really bank only on being able to get the Primal Wrath. He wants to go for other spells as well. The Winter, again, you have to just highlight it that it bought so much more time. It spent more resources from Dewa United for sure. And I think maybe for Keys, if they're really struggling to try and catch the members of RRQ, they can go for like an ice screens maybe for an extra bit of slow. But overall, these fights were all very clean and clear cut. It wasn't really extended unnecessarily. Everyone went in heads first, and whoever came out on top, came out on top. It's almost like it's a leap of faith from both these teams. And if you look at damage dealt, Dewa United actually dealt more damage, right? Because they did win in that final fight. But at what cost? That's what RRQ were able to force them into deciding. Because even if the damage dealt, Watt on the Claude, as always, is still an absolute menace. And he showed it in this game too, even though he did not come out on top.
I think most of the team fights were actually won by Dewa, right? But RRQ always traded it for something else. The turtle, the turret up top with the Moscow pushing. They were okay just throwing bodies, sacrificing. I think the captain sacrificed a bit too much sometimes. But we will take a look at the golden moment by Ube as gold to see these crazy moments. And I really hope to see the RRQ members yell and show their passion.
Mau gue burst nggak? Jagain ya.
Gue burst juga pakai edit.
Guys, baksiannya jagain guys.
Boleh sih.
Iya, ada OD bro. Burst. Stun aja, stun kabur ya.
Balik.
Kabur, gak ada one. Main sebelah gua.
Rapihin Lena.
Main sebelah gua ya guys.
Ya.
Ntar kalitnya nggak apa-apa, lu nggak nge-kill cok. Yang penting lu. Gua atas aja.
Jangan coba mati dia ini guys. Dia ground jangan mati.
Gua solo atas.
Go winter guys.
Backup guys.
Lihat tengahnya, Ler.
Gak kena tombak gua guys. Lihat nih guys, kalian guys.
Aman.
Kalau udah sama gua ya, kalau udah sama gua flicker kalian.
Masih bisa guys.
Kalau udah sama gua no.
Lobat kalau udah ya. Udah.
Yes.
Kalau udah one.
Udah gua sudah. Imo. Loadingnya, Ler.
Aman ya, kena Lord. Bisa Cok.
Ayo Lord please.
Nice guys.
Please.
Oh my god, the crazy, okay, by the way, we were given these signs by the RQ Kingdom, Road to Playoffs.
Is it?
I think.
I thought we were supposed to have one for each team, and
but Dewa can't make it a playoff.
Exactly, which is why it seems like we're so biased over here on the desk.
RQ's Road to Playoffs is still alive, and you can see the crazy emotions that went through them as they lost the final team fight. I think they were thinking, oh man, we're gonna play game 3, and then Skylar's like, oh no, it's okay, the Lord, look at the Lord, and he starts laughing as well. I was like, all right, the relief and the laughter and the joy from that final moment where the Lord was just slashing on the base. They won the battle, Dewa, but they lost the war. Their base, their castle got destroyed by the kingdom's Lord.
Just got bonked, and the fact that they were able to build up 2 layers of waves, and then the Lord would just come in. That was just insane.
And as you can see from the standings update earlier, if you guys watched the interview, RRQ have moved up a notch. 1 placement from 8th to 7th. And this will, again, give them a better opportunity to make it to the playoffs. Hope is still there for RRQ.
Absolutely. And you can look at how the fans were just so, hopeful, so passionate about it. The moment that RRQ won that, everyone just exploded, man. But tomorrow, I think, is the real big deal. RRQ up against Ultra Ego, so close. So the results are going to be that much more decisive here. That is where everyone, today, of course, it's already a concern with RRQ doing so poorly so far. But tomorrow, I think, is where a lot of even the most diehard RRQ fans are quite concerned for their team.
I think that was also a moment of worry for the Kingdom as well, because RRQ did not really win the match convincingly.
Right.
And game number one was also on the back of a comeback. Second game, it was the way they played the macro, the cross maps that they were able to execute was just so good, even if they were losing the team fights left and right. But again, that was the fruit of their labor at the end of the game. So I think RRQ, they should be able to deliver something great tomorrow, hopefully against Alter Ego and the Kingdoms.